Hello and salut everybody. So if you have watched my previous video, I promised that I was here to give you a testimony. And but then before the testimony, I have to talk to you about prayers. And I was going to go fast, but then I have so much to say. I mean, guys, I didn't even finish everything that I had to say. But I have to make sure that the video does not go over an hour, does not go an hour. So I have to cut it. But I'm gonna come back to dive a little bit more about prayers. But as promised, I am back here to give you my testimony, and prove to you the power of prayer. To give you a testimony that proves the power of prayers. To tell you that there's power in prayer. Before I tell you my testimony, welcome back to Chatting with Nicole. If you have not subscribed, do me a favor, subscribe right now, share this video, like, and also check out the rest of the videos. I know I have been saying this, but I do want you guys to share the videos. I want you to check it out. I want you to subscribe, please. I want you to put the word out there. Just like we are here sharing these prayers and everything, if you listen to me, you also are responsible. You have the you have to share with somebody. Okay, it's a good news that we are spreading. So even if you don't like it and it's a good news, you know that this is the real, this is the truth, this is the good news, share it with somebody. Okay, so I just want you to support by sharing with somebody. Spread the good news. Do your part. However that person feels is not on you anymore. Just share. All right. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being here. I'm super grateful that we get to do this again. So thank you for coming back. So my testimony. This is to prove to you. This is to show you the power of prayers. And some of you probably already have millions of miracles that you get and answer prayers that you have for testimony. And I just have to say this because I'm always talking about this, and this happened to me. And it was when I was coming back. I went to Senegal. I mean, not Senegal, Burkina Faso. So I went to Burkina, and I was coming back. My favorite stop airport, Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is my favorite African airport, and I really love what they have done, the airport. I know they are building a new one. And we're going to come back and talk to about Ethiopia, Ethiopia specifically, and Liberia, because those are the two countries that are not colonized by anyone. And I want to talk about Ethiopia and Liberia. But right now, I'm going to tell you what happened to me in Ethiopia. When I was coming back from Burkina, I got off the plane. There was a lot of things that was happening with that plane. We got on the plane, and I was supposed to, how when I get to Addis Ababa, it's always rush. I either have less than 30 minutes or 1 hour, less than an hour, just to get to my next plane. So it's always a rush hour. And Addis Ababa, if you have seen my videos, is very, very busy airport, for good reason. It's a very, very busy airport. So when I was coming back, Burkina, first, I pray. I talk to you about prayer. I have to pray. I pray about everything. I pray. Even before I buy a ticket to travel, I pray. I constantly in prayers. I even ask, if it's not God's will, I don't want it to happen. So I pray. I make sure that everything in his hands. So I give him complete control. My driving to the airport, everything, everyone that I meet, the bags, guys, I am all about prayer. So I pray. That day when I left Burkina, I woke up super early than everybody. I didn't sleep that night. So I was super early. I came down, people were not ready. So I went back upstairs, and I charged my phone. I took everything, and then because I went upstairs just to wait, I charged my phone. And then, when the time came to leave, I left my phone. And when we were leaving, the traffic was so bad. There was no way. We thought we couldn't even make it, but we made it. And when I got there, I realized, my niece, when I was on the way, I have two phones. And that phone, I have to have it, right? The one that I plugged in. My niece calls me and said, Tanti, is that your phone over here? I'm like, oh my God. I can't believe I was like hours and hours early, but I left my phone. I said, I have to have this phone. and the traffic's terrible. We barely made it. And now I call and I say like I said I want the driver to bring it to me. They were like, I don't think the driver is gonna make it. I say he's gonna make it. And even the driver called me. He said, "There's no way I can make it at this hour. Bring your thing before you left." I say, "You going to make it?" And I did my prayer. Do you know that this man, I waited. They waited for me. Because we got our luggages, everything was gone, and when the time came, the plane waited on me. They waited on me. This guy, the driver, brought me my phone. I don't know how. I don't know what happened. All I know is I got my phone. What everybody thought was impossible, it was possible. Everything is possible through God. That was my first miracle when I was coming back. So I got to Addis Ababa. We got there and I got off the plane and I have my passport I always, because it's rush hour. When you get there, you take you guys, if you haven't watched it, I want you to go to, my channel, look for my stop, Addis Ababa. You're going to see my videos. When I went there, it's always you take because we have to go to United States, you have to take a bus to get to the other that area, to go to go through security again, and then before you go to your gate. So when we got out of the plane, I pulled my passport in my pocket because I have to pack everything because I know how it is. So I pull my passport. The only thing I have is my phone and my passport, my glasses. I put the passport in my pocket. And we went through security. My brother-in-law we took the same plane, so we have to split. He has to go spend the night and leave the next day, and I have to carry on with my thing. So we met at the bus. When we took the bus, we went inside. You might even hear me talking to him. So we went through. I went to security, like always. The line is crazy. I'm telling you, it's a very, very busy airport. So we went through, and I took my suitcase. After I went to security, I looked for my passport. I couldn't find my passport. My passport was nowhere to be found. So this man, the guy, he asked me, "Oh, is everything okay?" I said, because he saw me looking. I said, "No." I said, I'm missing my passport." So he was like, "I'm missing my passport." So I told him that I'm missing my passport. He said, "Are you sure?" I went to the suitcase and my carry-on, my backpack. I went through everything I went to everything. I'm like, I know where I put it. I put it in my pocket because I know, but I went and searched. I went everywhere. The passport was nowhere to be found. So I looked and looked and looked, nothing. So I said, I know I lost it. But the thing is, this is the security checkpoint. It was so busy that you can't even see the person behind the other person in front of you because that's how busy it was. So we tried to look. I was trying to look through where I come from and look everywhere around me. There was nothing to be found. So it's impossible to even see anything on the ground. So he's talking, he has a call, he called people. He said, "Let me check." I told him where I was coming from, the plane we took, where we were coming from. I gave him everything. He called and he waited, he asked and did what he needed to do. He came to me, he said, "Are you sure?" Because he's asking me, "Am I sure?" And later I found out the reason he was asking me, "Am I sure?" is because I was too calm. He said I was too calm to be losing my passport. I lost my passport. Real, that's just my lifeline right there. That what I have to go to travel. I couldn't leave. And the connection, I had less than an hour to get to the other plane, the other flight. So the other plane, really. So finally he just like, "Let's go upstairs." He took me upstairs to a gate. And when I came to the gate, he just said, "Wait here." So they started calling and doing their research and searching. And they did, and he left. And I don't know what was happening. So he just left. He told me to wait at the gate. So I stayed at the gate. There was a gate. And like I said, the airport is so busy that it's impossible. It's so much noise. So much was going on. And I was he left me at this gate and there was no space. It was literally like everybody, too many people. And I saw there was a wall. There's kind of wall behind the desk. I just turned into the wall. I was facing it like, I was like, I can't kneel because if I kneel, people might think that it will attract attention. So I just turned and just started praying. I just like, Lord, I do not know. I pray about this trip. I prayed before I left. I put everything in your hands. Even before I left, you are in control. You are always in control. I put every step in your hands. I did not see this coming, but you saw it coming. You knew this was going to happen. I don't know why this is happening. But Lord, wherever my passport is, dear of us, whoever has my passport, dear of us, touch this person's heart to turn this passport in. Touch this person's heart wherever my passport is. I know you know exactly where it is. Lord, I know you can find this passport. I cannot do it. I am here in Ethiopia. I don't know anybody here. The only person I know is you. And you are the impossible possible maker. I was praying. I said, Lord, I did not do anything. You know, this trip mostly is for your glory. It's for your glory. This was not sacrifice, and everything I did was for your glory. And I pray, I submit everything in your hands. Lord, I need you. I don't know where my passport is. Please find my passport. And if it is you, and after everything, when I pray, and I say, and also, if it is your will, if there's a reason why I lost this passport, and it is your will that I lost this passport, help me understand what that will is. If there is a reason you want me to stay in Ethiopia here, the reason why I lost my passport, you don't want me to leave, let your will be done. Show me what that is. Help me achieve that. But if I need to get this passport and I need to leave, dear Lord, first find a way. Find my passport. I submit it into your hands. You can do this. I trust you. I have no one but you. So I pray. I wasn't loud. I just pray inside very, very slowly. I mean, very, very, softly. But I pray. I did a very, very strong prayer. And I turn, I say, I leave everything in your hands. And I say, in the name of Jesus, I pray. And I turn. And I've been waiting. I wait. I'm looking at the time. By the time I look at my phone, it was like 10 minutes before my next flight was supposed to leave. Every time I asked, they're like, okay, they were checking. Every time I asked, there's nothing. And after I prayed, I looked a little while. I stood there for a while. So I asked the guy that is on my right. And he also said he checked. It's asking me the same question over and over. So I went to the other lady on my left at the desk, and I asked her, I said, my plane already leaving, I'm okay. But can you please just check? Can you please just ask? I haven't heard anything. Can you find out? Can you check again? And this lady, and then there was another lady there. I have to tell you this. There was another lady that when she heard that my passport, she heard that it was my passport. She was even freaking out. I'm like, it's not your passport. You have your passport. But she was freaking out. She was like, oh my God. She was freaking out just hearing that I lost my passport, right? So this lady, the desk, the Ethiopian employee, she went and made a call. And when she made a call, she told me where to go. She told me to go downstairs and go to Lost and Found. There was an office there. She wanted me to go. So I went to that office. I talked to the guy. I came, nicely, quietly. I just sat down. I told him my description, what I was looking for. And I told him everything. And then he told me to also go downstairs. I didn't realize how big this airport is until there was so many downstairs, so many upstairs. So I went downstairs again to Lost and Found. He told me to go to Lost and Found. And I got there. There were a lot of people losing some people. Some people were frustrated because they lost their cup, hot cup. Some people lost their jacket. They were freaking out. And then I was just sitting, if you only know what I lost. So, and then people were just stepping in front of me. And just like, I'm like, wait, I've been waiting here, And this lady, I'm like, I've been waiting. She's like freaking out about her jacket and stuff, And anyway, long story short, the guy finally turned to me, and even when I got there, I was just praying. When I walked in, I was praying. When I got there, I was praying because they told me go sit down until somebody comes. And I was sitting there in the basement like nobody was there, but I was praying. I was just praying. And then this man finally came. I told him what I lost. I'm like, are you sure? I think they were just surprised that I was too calm to say that, my whole passport is lost. But, and he told me to wait. He's going to go and come back. So he left, he went outside, and I sat there. I just kept praying. And he came back and he called me and he said, follow me. So I followed him, went outside, and we went to this room. This big room is like a warehouse. And guys, you know what I saw? I saw this woman sitting in front of, behind a desk. And this big old desk One thing that I saw, the only thing that my eyes just went into was my passport, because it was just sitting there big, because I have a passport case. It's like a blue, shiny passport case. I put everything in it. And I saw it laying there. First one, I saw it because it's just a case. The case is so big. I don't know whether people turn in just the empty case or the passport was in it. You know what I mean? But I know I pray. I told God, I just want the passport, because there are things in the passport. There's my yellow fever card. I have a credit cards in there, and I also have some cash in there, some dollars in there. So I saw this thing, and my heart was like, thank you, Jesus. I kept walking. I promise you, I didn't even see the face of the lady. All I saw was focusing. They might think I was looking at her. All I was looking at was my passport. I came close to the passport, and she picked up the passport. And when she picked it up, she opened, my passport was in there. And, I saw it. All I saw was as long as I just saw the passport, I didn't even think about the yellow fever, the cards, and the cash. The passport was there. And then she just assigned me a paper, gave me something to sign. I just signed. Guys, do you know that when I looked into the passport, the cash was there, my card was there, the yellow, every single thing, even my boarding passes were in there exactly as it was. And I just thank God. I just praise him. So imagine American passport, you were in Ethiopia in the middle of, millions and millions of travelers. If you see how many people are passing through, when I left the plane, how many people went through. I want you guys to go watch my connection Ethiopia, and see how many people. And with praying and everything and just found this passport with everything in it. That's the power of prayers. The power of prayers. The power of prayer. And then I went upstairs. So I have to go upstairs. When I went upstairs, now the passport, because I lost the passport, the understanding is I have to buy another ticket, because I lost that plane. It wasn't their fault that I lost the passport. So I have to pay for a new ticket to come back home. But I pray again. I pray, and I went back to the same man who sent me downstairs. And after I pray, I talked to him. I show him the passport. I say, I found it. Do you know that he didn't say anything, and they already been told that I have to buy a ticket. I didn't say anything. I just pray. I just gave it to him. I sat there, and he did his thing and did it. And he just said that, oh, I found you a ticket. I found you in the next plane, but it's like I have to start over. Instead of 22, 24 hours, I have to spend another 24 hours, because it's like I'm starting over. I have to have another connection. I just heard, I was just waiting for him to say me how much I'm going to pay, right? And after he's done, he said, that's all you need. I didn't have to pay anything. I didn't have to pay not even a penny. That's the power of prayers, guys. That's the powers of prayers. So I got my passport and everything in it. Yeah, I have to start over with my flight, but I didn't have to pay a penny. I found my passport. So I found this passport in the middle of nowhere. So in the middle of millions and millions and millions, I found it because I prayed. So that's the testimony I want to give you today. And I want to encourage you from the praying every day that I was saying, that even you, no matter what you're going to do, you have to submit your days, because you don't know what Satan planned. You don't know what the devil has planned. You don't know what they have planned in your life. But you have to pray and put everything, every step, and put it in God's hands. And when that happens, he knows you put everything in his hands. He's going to get you through. Even something bad happens and you continue to trust him, he's going to get you through. He's going to save you. He's going to be there. You know how Peter was, when Peter he called Peter to come, and Peter was coming, and then he started sinking. The word of God said that Jesus just extended his hand and touched him and pulled him, because he was close to God. Because when you are close to God, it is easy for him to just extend his hand and pull you. Because Peter was right there. He was close to him. So he didn't have to stress. So when you are with God, you pray with him, you submit everything in his hands. It is easy. When the fire starts and you start calling, it is easy for him to just pull you out. So this is a testimony that I want to tell you. And just to reinforce that, even when you see open doors open in your life, you still need to pray to enter into those open doors. When I have the opportunities to travel, I still pray. Before I even buy a ticket, if before I say yes, I pray. I say, God, if it's not your will, I don't want to do it. So even when you have open doors, promotions open in your life, because Satan will trick you with some promotions, some things that you've been asking for, trick you that this is it. But God has not opened his door for you. So that's why even with open doors, you have to pray. Even with good things that happens in your life, you have to pray before you accept them. You have to pray before you enter into these open doors in your life. So I'm just saying this to say that there's power in prayers. There's power in trusting in God. There's power in submitting all our days, everything visible and invisible, in God's hands. It is important to stay connected, because when you pray every day, that's how you stay connected with him. That's how when something happens, you don't struggle. It is easy for you to say, God, save me. It is easy for him to just reach out because he knows you trusted him with everything. So that's encouragement I want to tell you today. I want to encourage you that when I was telling you to pray every day, there's a power in it. There's so many testimonies that I have, but this is one thing. This one I just have to share with you to show you that when I'm saying pray, it really does help. And prayer saves. Praying saves us. So I have to share that with you. And I hope that, you learn this and you can see that when you're traveling, everywhere you're going, everything that you're going, even just to go to the mailbox, there's chances that you can fall down. Going to work, there's no chance that you can come back. So that's why we have to put everything, because he knows everything has to be in his hands, and we have to trust him. And I just want you to, to be encouraged today that I'm not just speaking. Prayer helps, and there's power in prayers. So I hope that this helps in any way. And I want to hear from you. If you have any testimonies yourself, I want to hear from you. I want you to share this with everyone you know. This is just, I am telling you, when I think about this, think about just being there and knowing the people, the number of people, things that I have to go through, and the way it was nowhere to be found, and the prayer, the way I pray, and the things that just happened right after I prayed. That's why I know that I cannot leave my home. I cannot start anything. I cannot do anything without praying. I cannot do anything without God. So I want to encourage you to please, pray before you do anything. Make prayer your number one go-to. Trust everything in God's hands. Do not do anything without praying. And do not, say that you are limiting God from anything. Because some people say, oh, this I don't have to put in God's hand. Everything, even just speaking, is God's mercy. Everything, visible and invisible, small, big, no matter how small you think the issue is, or the things that you are doing, no matter how big it is, make sure you put it in God's hands. Make sure, because not everything is coming from him. Not everything is happening in your life is coming from him. So by praying and stay connected with him, it's easy for him to just reach out. Easy for him to just reach out like he reached out to Peter. It's easy for him to just, pull his hands and pull you and close to him and save you like he saved Peter. So share with everyone you know. I want to know your thought. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already, and also check out the rest of the videos. But until then, stay safe and blessed, and I'll see you right on the next one.